Hi. Okay, welcome to the pilot episode of The Griping Weirdo. And this is C3PO, if you haven't figured that out. Action figure of a C3PO, the original C3PO, the completely golden C3PO. And yes, I do like the old Star Wars and maybe The Mandalorian. Okay, to begin the show, um, this is Tony Anthony Palermo. And again, this is the first episode. Next to the teaser episode I have where it said Batman sucks, the Batman sucks episode, which have been a lot of Bat. I'm going to say something else. Bat fans, Batman worshippers. So this is about Pantera worshippers, all you phonies out there. Almost as phony as the band is. So C3PO is going to talk for me. Why is that? Because I'm an ugly mother. I'm an ugly mother. Big, fat, bald-headed with a long, greasy ponytail. No, I don't exactly look like that, but I am self-conscious. So anyway, this is not for kids. So if you're a kid, enter at your own risk. You should not be here, actually. And parents, well, I think you'll be a little more prepared, let's say. But definitely for a mature audience, give or take. And what I mean by that is you should be at least legal age to watch my series because I'm going to get rather down in this series. So, going to offend a lot of people, be warned. A lot of people into pop culture, including metal pop culture. That's right. Heavy metal is pop culture now. No secret. A lot of guitar hipsters out there. Drumming hipsters too. Get their drums expensive. Guitars and drum sets and stuff. These are people. A lot of these guitar hipsters and drumming hipsters, what do you want to call them? I didn't even hear about heavy metal till like 5 years ago, maybe 10. Got an expensive Gibson for their birthday or something, or a Fender or whatever. I'm gonna just see that. So I stutter a lot. I'm gonna stutter a lot. Let me go forward here. I am a seasoned metalhead, a true heavy metal fan. I've been one since the 80s, 1980s, the golden age of heavy metal. Okay. That's when I believe the band who founded metal, I know I'm going to get some disagreements on this, but I do believe Slayer founded metal, more than likely. You could say Metallica did. They were around almost as long as Slayer, pretty close, but I think Slayer edged them out just a little bit. I love Slayer. They're my favorite metal band. And yeah, you can guess it's not Pantera. Moving forward, so Slayer are the furthest thing from poser you'll find, unlike Pantera. Why is Pantera a poser? Apparently you're a nitwit if you have to ask that question, but a lot of, Pantera fans are nitwits, cashew heads. But let me explain it to you then, in case maybe you're just ignorant. I don't know, but it should be obvious, but I'll explain it anyway. Pantera used to be a glam band. GLAM, GLAM, glam band back in the 80s, late 80s. They released their, I think, first album, which was Power Metal, which, that's a decent sounding title for a heavy metal album. But, and being that was the dawn of speed and thrash metal in the late 80s, Megadeth, big respect for Megadeth, one of the greatest thrash, probably not the, some label Slayer as that thrash. I sometimes label them as death metal because they're so dark and satanic in their lyrics, which is great. And I'll get to that subject in a minute. Pantera, they're posers. They used to be glam. Dimebag, douchebag, whatever his name is. Dimebag used to call himself, get this now, Diamond Daryl in the 80s. That's right, Diamond Daryl. He put hairspray like everybody, all the other glam metal musicians did. Cheesy hairspray. I think he wore like some kind of, those boots they wore, the glam musicians, glamour musicians in the 80s. All that cheesy stuff, spandex. And I think he had some kind of a bandana on his forehead too, much like Bret Michaels of Poison had. They may as well call themselves like Poison 2, Part 2 or something, because that's what they were. Just total, not any different than Poison was, for the most part. Glam Terra, better name for them. So now I know a lot of butts are hurting right now because I'm insulting Pantera and their fans because I hate Pantera. Or I say I strongly dislike them, put it that way. Because I don't like their attitude. I don't like their simpery. They're a bunch of simps. And of course, they're posers. They try to act tough and shit and badass when they're actually glamours. And you're probably saying, oh, they used to be glam, but since Bill Anselmo came in, they're no longer glam. He toughened them up. He got them tough as nails when he came in the band. Now they're all real men. No. Number one, you could take the band out of the glam, but you can't take the glam out of the band. They're still glam inside. They're still pussies. They're still wussies. That's right. Pantera are a bunch of wussies, bunch of posers. So they're posers in two ways, not just one. Not just that they were posers in the glam sense, but when they enter the tough guy image, which other bands have done too, I know, and they suck equally as much. But yeah, the fake macho stuff, which is fake, that makes them poser. Poser, fake machos. What does poser mean? It means fake. It means artificial. It means fraudulent. It means phony. And that's what Pantera are, a bunch of phonies. And you think, oh, they're big bad Texans, big old bad country boys, they ain't shit. They ain't shit. Pantera grew up in the suburbs, which you know what suburb means? Suburban city. They're city boys. They're a bunch of soft serve city boys from Texas. And let me just touch them on Texas right now. Let me get a little drink of coffee. Okay, since I'm on the subject of Texas now, I want to just briefly mention, I'm going to cover this in another podcast or video, episode 2 maybe. A lot of phonies in Texas. The only thing bigger than Texas are the egos of those who live in Texas, especially now in this poser time we're living in, this hipster time. So you got these fake cowboys, fake rednecks saying, I live in Texas. You don't mess with me. I live in Texas. Do you chew snuff? No, it's bad for your teeth. It's bad for your teeth. Do you drink alcohol or any hard liquor or whiskey? No. It upsets my stomach. Poser. Real cowboys, real rednecks are not afraid of tobacco or hard liquor. You ever heard of moonshine? You know what that is? Anyway, we're talking about real cowboys, real legitimate rednecks, cowboys, or hicks, whatever you want to call them, that people are supposedly taking pride in saying that they are these things when they're not. They're not a bunch of sissies, is what I'm saying. They're not a bunch of pansies or panzas. So there's a lot of fakers in Texas, including Pantera. And yeah, you think you're so macho in Texas. I live in Nevada. We're more badass than you are, way more. And I'm not homophobic in the least, and so I respect for all groups as long as they don't intrude on my territory, so to speak. I have nothing against gays or lesbians, but did you know that Dallas, Texas, has the highest percentage of gay men in the country? Might be the world, but I think I got the statistic at least in the country per capita. Dallas, Texas has the highest percentage of gays, gay men, gay males. How do you like that? Yeah. So therefore, San Francisco is not the capital of gay culture. It's Dallas, Texas. Oh, those gay cowboys wearing lipstick like Pantera, or at least they probably do in private. So yeah, Dallas, Texas is Texas is more liberal, and like they keep on labeling people falsely as libtards and shit. Even I've been called a libtard, which I'm definitely not. I'm more conservative than these phonies are, these frauds. I'll get to that in another episode too. But just to point out, yeah, there's a lot of gays in Dallas. I guess it's kind of different over there than you think it is. Okay. So Pantera, I know I wouldn't doubt they hung out or still hang out at gay bars and clubs and all that. I don't know. In their private time. Who knows? I wouldn't doubt. It wouldn't surprise me. Let's just put it that way, being they're so phony. So, okay, so they used to be glam. wearing spandex and hairspray, eyeliner, maybe lipstick. I don't know. Imagine Dimebag Darrell with lipstick on. He probably did wear some of it in his heyday, I guess. No, it wasn't their heyday, but that was their. They would say their embarrassment days. But hey, you can't leave the past; it sticks with you. So yeah, deep down, Pantera are just a bunch of phony wimps, bunch of poser wimps, and the fans are too. They're very poser. They pretend they're all tough and shit. Like, oh yeah, I'm a Pantera fan. Bullshit. Now, I mean, yeah, you're a Pantera fan, but you're not macho. You're not tough. You probably get beat up by women. You're probably a simp, like a lot of Pantera fans are. Simps and wimps. That's why Pantera are the bunch of their music. I don't like their music. I don't like their attitude. They haven't been around as long as Slayer, and even Phil Anselmo himself admits Slayer is his favorite band. So I guess that's basically him saying that his band is not as great, as epic as Slayer. Take that and smoke it. But yeah, so you got these phonies, and they put their little screen names on here right here on YouTube, saying like, "Oh, I'm a cowboy from hell. I'm a cowboy from hell. Uh, I'm a cowboy from hell." No, you ain't shit. You live in the suburbs. You're a city boy. You're a poser. You're a wimp. You hide behind your parents' technology, and that's what I do. Call out posers in this program or the series more than anything, especially butthurt Pantera fans. My words hurt your butt. I know they do. So right now you probably got a red face and go, "Oh God damn it! I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this, dude." Well, let's see you try it. It's called free speech. It's in the Constitution, so I'm allowed to speak, and this video remains. I don't care how many. I hope you thumb it down. If I have a thumbs down option, thumb it down, please do. I want to get the biggest thumb down. I want to get in the world Guinness Book of World Records for the most thumbs down, thumb downs on YouTube. That would be great. So you just make me famous. So please thumb me down. But I'm still here. Not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. Nope, staying right here. There's going to be more videos, podcasts. The reason why I say videos and podcasts is because I might record just the audio from this and have it on a regular podcast, audio only, and so therefore the video will be separate with the audio on YouTube. But I'm definitely starting out on YouTube. So good morning. It's the 4th of January. I forgot to mention the date. 4th of January, 2021. First day of calling out posers, starting with Pantera. I thought they would be the greatest bunch of wimps to call out in the first episode. So anyway, made my point here. Anyway. Yeah. You're talking to somebody who's a lot more manly, a lot more of a metalhead than Pantera ever dreamed of being, or their fans. I've been around since the 80s. I got long hair. I got it down to not that signifies everything, but it is a signature kind of image, let's say, to the metalhead. True metalhead, grew up in the 80s, and I've been following bands for a long time. So I remember when Pantera first appeared on Headbangers Ball, and I tried to get into them, say, "Oh yeah, these guys are tough," yeah, shit. And I'm like realizing these guys are a bunch of fucking posers, man. And their music is boring. And Dimebag Darrell used to be Diamond Darrell, by the way. His name was Diamond Darrell. If I haven't already mentioned that, I think I did. Is repetitive. I mean, his guitar playing is really boring as fuck. It's repetitive. It's like what is this? It sounds like a fucking circus song or something. I don't know what it is, but it's boring. I can tell you that. And yeah, douchebag. Dimebag Darrell is boring. I know he's dead now. Yes, of course. He died several years ago, shot down by Nathan Gale. Rest in peace. And that was tragic. But at the same time, I have no love for the guy. There's a video on YouTube where Diamond Diamond is I'm sorry, what's his Dimebag? I'm so used to call him douchebag and Diamond. Dimebag actually took a bunch of rocks, a bunch of stones, and threw them at a Marine's car from his house, or one of his houses, I guess. Of course, he's a rich rich dude, was, and throwing rocks at this neighbor's car who was a Marine, a veteran. And I think that's very disrespectful for him doing that. That's one thing, one reason among others that I don't like the memory of Diamond. I mean, Dimebag Daryl, because he's a punk. He's nothing but a fucking punk. He had an attitude. He had a chip on his shoulder. That's why he got shot down. You know, you go around with a image like that, and you go like, calling people out and throwing stones at people, and chip on your shoulder kind of thing. You're going to have it knocked off, and that's what Nathan Gale did. Not that it was right. Not that I encourage anybody to do anything like that, but he did have it coming. He did have it coming because he was a jerk. He's a creep. And old band are, as far as I'm concerned, and a bunch of phony balonies, a bunch of posers. So Pantera sucks butt. And so do their fans. So if you think you're some tough cowboy from hell just because you put it in your screen name or in your gamer tag or whatever, well, you better withdraw it because I'm going to expose you for what you are, the wimp that you are, the simp that you are. And that's another reason I touched up on earlier is why I hate Pantera. I don't like, or I despise Pantera, is because they're simps. You know, they got this, they think they're all tough and they get beat up by women, feminist. I think they support feminism or some shit. I know there's a lot of these sissy feminist young women doing guitar covers of their simple songs, like Walk and all that. And they look like feminists to me. They look like man haters, misandrist, brats, typical guitar hipsters. And again, folks, I'm not putting down the guitar, not putting down drums, but there are a lot of soft serves, as I call them, a bunch of pansies, a bunch of wimps, posers that play guitar now. They don't even know nothing about metal. They just know a few bands. I call them out. I know these things. I've been around a while. I've been around since the 80s. I know what real metal is. I know what real metalhead is. It's me. And there's a few others I know who are too. But online, you meet scores of posers, wimpy posers, including these chicks that pick up a guitar and think they're a rock star overnight because they're lawyer moms in the suburbs bought them a guitar amongst others, probably about 10 of them in their bedrooms hanging on the wall, and only know how to play a few strings and think they're rock stars or whatever. Nope, doesn't work that way. You're still obscure because you're dropping the buckets, all you are. There's all kinds of videos on YouTube with guitar covers and drum covers and whole band covers and all that. Some are pretty good, so don't get me wrong. I'm not putting down all people who play guitar. I've seen some good ones. There was this young bunch that I saw covering a Judas Priest song. I forgot who they were, one of many, but the lead singer was a girl who did not look like a misandrist. Rather young, this chick, wearing all leather, just like Judas Priest did. One thing she was missing was the studs, which I think are ultimately metal. But she did a good cover on them. She had a good voice. If I can remember the name of the band, I'd tell you. So no, I'm not putting down all people who play guitar. No, of course not. Of course not. I personally don't yet, but it's not required to play guitar to be a metalhead, that's for sure. Especially since guitars cover other genres too. So the posers, the wimps, need to get out of metal. Kick them out. Boot them out of metal. You don't belong there. Get the yuppies out of here. We don't want your bald-headed yuppie or lawyer bitches covering tunes which you know nothing about. Old lady worship. I'm definitely going to get on that one too in a future podcast video. I don't like this. That's part of feminism or feminazism or radical feminism is old lady worship, female worship in general, but that's an extension of it, of course, in case you're a dunce. You should know that pretty obviously. So I'm going to set the record straight. I'm going to call out all the fakes, all the wimps, the hipsters, the pop heads. That's another name for a hipster. I call them pop heads. Just like there are metalheads, right? Like me, true metalheads like me. There are pop heads. That means you're really into something when you have head after the name. So they're really into pop culture, like K-pop or whatever. But truthfully speaking, let me just say before I get back to the original subject of GLAM Terra, that let me just head a little bit there. Okay. C3PO at your service. Where was I? Yeah, that I'm going to call out. Man, I just lost my bookmark. It's that time of morning. It's early in the morning on the 4th of January. And C3PO, you're not helping much. Your eyes hypnotize me. I'm hypnotized by him. Robot eyes. Anyway, did I mention I like the old Star Wars and maybe I like the Mandalorian? Mandalorian maybe is saving the Star Wars franchise, but that's another subject and not really appropriate for this one. I mean, this series. What was I going to say again? Anyway, oh yeah, kick the wussies and pussies out of metal. That's what we got. Get these yuppies out. I mean, you guys are doing nothing but bringing down the heavy metal genre. It used to be rebellion music. It used to be youth oriented and rebellion, and parents were supposed to hate heavy metal. Now you got parents claiming they love metal, but they're actually what's the word? Pussifying it. They're pussifying metal. They're bringing it down in the dumps. These yuppies and city ball and city girls, whatever. That's what they are. They're a bunch of rich suburbanites riding the metal bandwagon and bringing it down, making it sound, turning it into Cub Scout music or Girl Scout music. Can't be sexist. Got to be equal. So, yeah, I'm really disappointed, very angry, even not sniveling angry, but angry at these posers that get into metal now, heavy metal. And I grew up where it was something you definitely, it was underground, it was dark, satanic, even playing records backwards, which I think is awesome. And if you don't think it's awesome, apparently you're a poser because that's some of the best metal on earth is the satanic metal. And it's in death metal, it's in Slayer, my favorite band, and I think they perfected satanic metal. That should be a subcategory or a genre, satanic metal, because that's what Slayer is all about, or at least in the 80s. But I think they've always held on to their diabolic image. And it's all fake. It's all fake. They don't really worship the devil. And, um, Tom Araya is a Catholic. Everybody seems to repeat that a lot on YouTube. Okay, I get it. He's Catholic. I know. I'm Christian myself. I'm a non denominational Christian. Proud to be. But the point is, it's not about overcoming evil or death or what. No, it's about having fun with it or making it into something that is fun. I mean, satanic and stuff like that. I mean, you got to admit, Satanism is fun to have in music. It's just so wild and dark, and you just love it. Although it's fake, and they're not really worshiping the devil; they're just having fun with it. And it's in protest too. It's a rebellion towards those who criticized heavy metal in the beginning, as well as rock, way back to the 50s, saying it's, delinquent music and they probably sacrifice virgins or something when they don't. So heavy metal musicians decided to say, oh, yeah, well, if you're going to call us these things, we're going to pretend to be these things. And the key word, the operative word is pretend. And that's what Slayer's done so well for so many years. Seasoned, experienced band, Slayer, number one. And did I mention this already? If I did, forgive me. Phil Anselmo himself said his favorite band is Slayer, as I understand it, as the source I've heard it from. So apparently Phil is saying that Slayer is better than Pantera, which I agree with. Slayer is been around longer. They got a lot more under their belt, and they're not posers. They never sold out either, never got sold out to the mainstream. They always stuck to their diabolic underground image, which is awesome. And any real Slayer fan knows it's all for fun. It's fiction. So just like a movie. And Slayer is just awesome. But Pantera, no. They haven't been around as long. I think their heyday was like in the 90s and then it kind of expired. I don't think they've done anything great since then. It never was great to begin with, just in a pop, I don't know, call it popular sense. They got a little popular on MTV because of Beavis and Butthead. And so they owe gratitude to them, I guess. But since the beginning, and I was there, you probably weren't. You're probably like a noob metalhead. You probably didn't discover what metal was until the way after the millennium. I was there. Pedbanger's Ball, Ricky Rockman. I think he's I know he's a poser. Should see him back in the 80s. He had makeup on too, just like Dimebag did. But when I saw him on MTV again, I tried to get into him, but I said, no, there's something wrong with these guys. They're a bunch of simps. Their attitude is bullshit, and they can't live up to it. They're phonies. They're posers. And I just bet, in real life, they're a bunch of wimps. So, and yeah, the attitude, they, what do you call it? The chip on the shoulder thing. Yeah, with Dimebag Darrell. That's why he got shot. He should have known better. Yeah, that's why he's underground right now. Well, I had an opportunity to visit his grave. I think I said this, but maybe not. That's not a joke. I'm going to say this is a joke. Don't take it too serious. Don't call the police. Don't be a wuss. If I ever visited Dimebag Darrell's grave, I'd piss on it, piss all over it. Me or my dog would, either one. Maybe both of us. Piss all over his gravesite in Texas, wherever it is. Just for the fun of it. I know your Pantera fan, your butt hurts are thinking like, oh yeah, well, I'll beat the shit out of you. See you doing that. I'll get my shotgun out. I think a shotgun is probably bigger than your whole body is if you're a Pantera fan. Bunch of wimps. It's a joke anyway, so don't go shooting people for telling jokes or otherwise enjoy county jail. You can get locked up in county jail. If I don't clobber you first, I fear no evil. Let's put it that way. And that includes Pantera's fans, little weak fans that blowfish, pretend they're macho and they're a bunch of suburban wimps, just like the band. So just to clarify once again, Pantera are not a bunch of cowboys from hell. They're not a bunch of roughneck, badass Texans. No, they grew up in the suburbs. They're city boys. They're softsters, they're posers, they're wimps, and they're simps or white knights. And I don't like that. I don't like simps. I don't like white knights. Proud to be male, and yes, I am a MGTOW. I consider myself part of the MGTOW movement, which is not a cult. It's a philosophy. Men going their own way. Look it up if you don't know what it means. And that's something Pantera can learn about. Of course, they're semi-retired now, so they probably don't give a crap about any of that. But the fans should. Yeah, your butthurt fans out there, Pantera, they should look it up. MGTOW, MGTOW, proud to be. So C3PO is going to wrap up this first episode of the Griping Weirdo. Only a weirdo would hold up a C3PO action figure, don't you think? But I'm harmless. Nothing wrong with being weird. Weird is good. Proud to be weird. I think needs to be more weirdos in society, respected in society. Because, it's not the ones who act weird you got to worry about. It's the ones who pretend they're normal you got to worry about. Talk about posers. So, no, I'm not Ron Jeremy. That dude's locked up, isn't he? Never did like Ron Jeremy. Creepy dude. Anyway, that's off the beaten path. So, Pantera sucks butt. I just told you why. So, if you haven't soaked all that in as of yet, rewind this video and check it out. Go over my words. Let my words hurt your butt more. And Pantera sucks. Anyway, I've said that from the beginning. I'll say it to my last breath. Pantera sucks because they're bony, poser, wimpy, simpy punks is what they are. And what's up with that bald-headed geek, Phil and Selma? I mean, isn't long hair in? I got long hair, long hair, wavy hair, dark hair. And isn't like that in now? I mean, with the hipsters to have long hair, especially the bandwagon jumpers, the fake metalheads. I mean, them too, I should say. I mean, what isn't time for this bald-headed geek to get with the pop culture and, because metal is pop culture now, whether you like to admit it or not. Yuppies are all over it. That's why I'm here. And a lot of yuppies like Pantera. You got like lawyers into them now, the city boys and girls. So what I mean is, since it's popular again to have long hair, when you think you'd grow his hair out or something. What a geek. Oh, I get on geeks too. All that trend with stuff with nerds and geeks. I'll get in on that one too. Call out the posers in that department. A lot of calling out I got to do. I'm going to look forward to all of it. Every episode of this podcast and video series. I don't know what to call the video series other than just video series. What do they call it here on YouTube? YouTuber? I'm a YouTuber. Shit, I've been a YouTuber since the 90s. No, 2000s. Been around a long time. I'm seasoned, experienced. Yeah, unlike most fake metalheads. They've only been discovered metal 5 to 7 years ago. I've known about it since the early 80s. I got to admit, when I first heard of heavy metal, I was afraid of it because I was told all these lies about it. And it was satanic and playing records backwards and all. Yeah, that's true. And I think I got to embrace that after a while. I think that's great. Wonderful. But I realized that they're not evil. They're just doing it for fun. Fun. That's great. It's just fucking great. So if you have anything against devil metal, as I call it, all satanic devil metal, you can also lick my rear end because Devil metal's where it's at. It's for fun. It's the best metal there is, and that's why Slayer rules the metal genre, heavy metal genre. And I guess you call them thrash or speed metal, which are about the same thing, really. A seasoned metalhead would know that. A noob, um, someone new to the game, so to speak, new to metal, a poser would think they only know the word thrash and that's it. No, there's a lot of other names for it. Speed metal, even power metal, which was Pantera's glam metal album name, but that was an accurate description of that type of metal, hardcore metal, like Megadeth, who is a lot more valid than Pantera, Glam Terra. Okay, I'm going to sign out now. So if you find this video offensive, I'm very happy. Thumb it down. Please thumb it down. I want to get the most thumbs down, if I haven't already mentioned that, of all. I can see the back of C-3PO, man. It's pretty awesome. Cool. I'm going to annoy the piss out of everybody. Yeah, I'm going to annoy all the posers out there. But to legitimate ones, you shouldn't be offended. Legitimate metalheads, who appreciate Slayer, dude. Okay. And a lot of other bands too, of course. Okay. Like Judas Priest. Salute to Judas Priest. Definitely. And Iron Maiden. All them. I'll talk more about them as well. Those epic bands in metal, the signature metal, heavy metal bands. Okay, I'm going to close this one out. It's getting closer to 420. No, 440. Oh, yeah, I'll get on that subject too. Did I ever mention this? Yeah, you weed hipsters, you wimpy stoners. Not that I have anything against smoking weed, marijuana, but there's a lot of brats behind it, and they're wimpy. They're not necessarily posers. Apparently, they're smoking weed, and there's no lie about it. But they're wimpy. Stoners today are generally wimpy. I'll tell you more about it. I'll give you just a preview of what I'm going to talk about with the bratty stoners of today who are afraid of alcohol and women, the male ones. That's it right there. I'm going to call that out. Weed smokers, I call them weeders sometime, or stoners. Again, there's nothing wrong with smoking weed, but I don't like the attitude of the stoners, a bunch of brats. There's a lot of brats in today's world, and starting with the Pantera brats, but we're going to move to maybe in the next episode, the weed brats, and call them out why they're afraid of alcohol and tobacco and women. And they're going to, I hate it. I just want to punch the shit out of a stoner who says, you shouldn't smoke tobacco. It's bad for you. It causes cancer. Well, no, it doesn't. I smoke cigars, sometimes cheap ones, and I love them. And you puff on them. You don't inhale much. So you do not get cancer unless you're being really stupid and smoking like 20 a day and inhaling a lot of it. And so then you'll probably get cancer. Whoopee. Let me tell you folks, all you anti-tobacco wussies, that my mother lived to be 89 and a half years old. She died last September, rest her soul. But she lived to be 89 and a half years old. And guess what? She smoked cigarettes most of her life. That's right, inhaled cigarettes most of her life. She lived to be almost 90 years old and never had cancer, no heart disease. Although she did have a stroke, but it wasn't related to the smoking. It was stress, something to do with stress. She's going through a lot of stress after my father died. He lived to be 87. Used to smoke, but she outlived him and she smoked to the very end. Yeah, stick that into your bong and smoke it. You sissy, wussy, wimpy stoners. And one last time, I'll just say I'm not putting down actually smoking. They've been doing it for decades and more than that, but it's the fact that they think they should be worshipped for smoking it. They're attention whores. And why am I covering all this in this? I'm doing another episode. I'll touch up on probably the next episode. I'm not sure, but maybe the next episode of The Griping Weirdo. Proud weirdo, but harmless once again. And again, remember, folks, this is not for kids. This is an adult podcast video series. Okay, so hey, I feel sorry for you Pantera fans. I know your butts are hurting, your faces are red. You feel like you want to write me an email and say, you meanie. Probably all you can say because you're a bunch of wimps. You can't fight for shit. most of you. So I'm not calling you out. I'm not trying to pick a fight or anything. I oppose violence except as a last resort. So no violence here. But if somebody comes at me crooked, including especially a poser fan, Pantera, big macho Pantera fan, I'm gonna be ready and haul ass. So I defend myself when I have to. Never act on aggression. Hopefully this never happens. I'm just saying, if it ever did. And I just know that the way Pantera fans are now, they're so wimpy they wouldn't even think of facing me in person and challenging me that way. I think they're way too scared. So anyway, Pantera sucks butt, and I just told you why. So stay tuned for the next episode of. I got to get on the red button here with my moose cursor. If I could find it. Friggin', it's disappearing. There we go. Okay. Have a wonderful January and 2021 to those of you who are legitimate, not posers. And I mean that. Okay, till next episode. I'm just saying, by the way, this is my motto. I'm going to say this at the end of every episode now. And it's not what it appears to be. I'm just doing it to piss off weed hipsters, wimpy stoners. So here it is. Till next episode, ban weed and drink whiskey. Till then.